At exactly 11:42 p.m. on a Tuesday night, Chioma's phone screen showed her the truth she'd been funding for 2 years. Her boyfriend living his best life in Dubai with another woman. She thought she was investing in their future. She wasn't. She was bankrolling his vacation with someone else. Chioma sat on her bed in her small Lekki apartment, phone clutched in trembling hands, staring at Tunde's Snapchat story. The video showed him at a rooftop infinity pool overlooking the Burj Khalifa, champagne glass raised, sunglasses on, living what Nigerians call the soft life. But it wasn't the luxury that broke her heart. It was the woman beside him, beautiful, laughing, leaning into him like she owned him. The caption read, #Dubai Diaries, #softlife, #blessed and favored. Chioma replayed the video 3 times, each replay confirming what her gut had been whispering for months. The same man who had texted her yesterday saying, "Babe, I can't recharge my phone, can you send me 5K?" was now posting from a 5-star Dubai hotel. Her hands shook as she screenshotted everything. 18 months earlier, Chioma had met Tunde at a mutual friend's birthday party in Victoria Island. He was charming, well-spoken, and ambitious. He told her he was building a tech startup, an app that would revolutionize logistics in Nigeria. He had big dreams, a confident smile, and that particular kind of charisma that made you believe he was going places. "I'm not where I want to be yet," he had told her on their 3rd date, leaning across the table at a modest restaurant in Ikeja. "But I'm building something big. I just need time and the right support. I need someone who believes in me." Chioma, who had spent the last 5 years building her salon business from nothing, understood hustle. She respected ambition, and when Tunde looked at her with those sincere eyes and said, "I've never met a woman like you. Hardworking, independent, beautiful," she felt seen. So when he mentioned that his rent was overdue and he might lose his apartment, she offered to help. Just this once, she told herself, just until he got on his feet. That just this once became a pattern that would drain her savings and nearly destroy her business. Over the next year and a half, Chioma became Tunde's unofficial financier. It started with rent, 350,000 naira to cover 2 months. Then it was phone bills, data subscriptions, Uber rides to important meetings, new clothes for investor pitches, and meals at expensive restaurants where he claimed to be networking. Every request came with the same promise. "Once this deal closes, I'll pay you back everything, with interest, I swear." The deal never closed, but the requests kept coming. Chioma worked longer hours at her salon, taking extra clients, cutting her own expenses. She stopped buying new clothes, stopped going out with her friends, stopped treating herself to the small luxuries she'd earned through years of hard work. Every extra naira went to Tunde. When her salon supplier demanded payment for overdue shipments of Brazilian hair, relaxers, and styling products, she paid from her personal savings, the emergency fund she'd built over 5 years. When her salon chair broke and needed replacing, she delayed the repair for 3 months because Tunde needed money for business registration fees. Her friends noticed. Her best friend Amara pulled her aside one afternoon at the salon. "Chioma, you are killing yourself for this man. What is he doing for you?" "He's building something," Chioma replied defensively. "You don't understand how business works. Sometimes you have to invest before you see returns." "Investment?" Amara laughed bitterly. "Babe, you are not an investor. You are an ATM machine." Chioma didn't speak to Amara for 2 weeks after that conversation. 3 weeks before the Snapchat revelation, Tunde had called Chioma with exciting news. "Babe, I got a huge break. A potential investor wants to meet me in Dubai. This could change everything for us." "Dubai?" Chioma asked, excited but cautious. "That's amazing. When?" "Next month, but there's a small issue. I need to cover the flight and accommodation upfront. The investor will reimburse me when we meet, but I need about 800,000 naira to make it happen." Chioma's heart sank. 800,000 naira. That was more than she had in her business account. Tunde, that's a lot. I don't have that kind of money right now. My salon... I know, babe, I know. And I hate asking you, but this is it. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for. After this trip, everything changes. I'll finally be able to take care of you the way you deserve. She heard the desperation in his voice, the vulnerability, the promise of a better future. She liquidated her salon's petty cash reserve, took a loan from her cooperative society, and borrowed from her sister. She sent Tunde 800,000 naira. Thank you, baby, he texted back with 3 heart emojis. I promise you, you won't regret this. When I come back, we're going to celebrate. I love you. Chioma smiled at her phone, believing that sacrifice was love, that partnership meant carrying someone else's weight, even when it broke your back. 2 weeks later, she saw him in Dubai on Snapchat with another woman. Chioma wasn't blind by accident. She was blind by choice, because seeing the truth would mean admitting she'd been played. Her salon staff had noticed things. Her assistant Ngozi had once mentioned seeing Tunde at a club in Lekki with a group of women, throwing money around like a big boy. Chioma dismissed it as mistaken identity. Her childhood friend BC had sent her a screenshot of Tunde's Instagram story showing him at an expensive Ikoyi restaurant, captioned CEO Life. On the same day, he told Chioma he couldn't afford transport to see her. Chioma explained it away. That was an old post, he probably reposted it. Even her younger brother had tried to intervene. Sister, this guy is using you. Everyone can see it but you. You don't know him like I do, she had replied coldly. He's going through a phase. When you're building something, it's hard. I'm supporting him because I believe in us. But deep down, in the quiet moments late at night, Chioma knew. She just wasn't ready to admit it yet. At 11:42 p.m., Chioma's phone buzzed with a notification. It was from her cousin, Zainab. Chioma, is this your boyfriend? Please tell me I'm seeing things. Attached was a screenshot of Tunde's Snapchat story. The video showed him at a rooftop infinity pool in Dubai, champagne in hand, sunglasses on, laughing and flirting with a beautiful woman in a bikini. The woman kissed his cheek. He didn't pull away. In fact, he turned to kiss her back, full on the lips, while the camera captured everything. The caption read, #Dubai Diaries, soft life, blessed and favored, living my best life. Chioma's vision blurred. Her breath caught in her throat. She replayed the video once, twice, 3 times. Each replay confirmed what she already knew but couldn't process. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was Amara. Babe, I just saw Tunde's Snapchat. Are you okay? Please call me. Then BC. Chioma, is that not Tunde in Dubai with another woman? Then her sister. What is going on? Did you know about this? Chioma couldn't respond to any of them. She just sat on her bed, staring at the video, feeling her entire reality collapse. The same man who had texted her yesterday saying he couldn't afford airtime was now living in luxury in Dubai. The same man who had promised to pay her back soon was drinking champagne by an infinity pool. The same man who had said, I love you 2 days ago was kissing another woman on camera. She opened his chat. The last message from him was from earlier that day. Babe, can you send me 10K? Need to sort something urgent. She had sent it. Of course she had. Chioma screenshot everything. Every Snapchat story, every Instagram post, every WhatsApp message where he'd begged for money. She saved it all. This time, she wasn't going to ignore the truth. For about 12 hours, Chioma tried to convince herself there was an explanation. Maybe the woman was his business partner. Maybe it was a professional trip and the kiss was just friendly. Maybe the champagne was sponsored by the investor. Maybe, but every maybe crumbled under the weight of evidence. She scrolled through the woman's Instagram profile. Her name was Folake and her bio read, living life on my own terms, travel enthusiast, luxury lover. Her recent post showed her in Dubai, same hotel, same pool, same time frame. One post showed her and Tunde holding hands in front of the Burj Khalifa, captioned, "When your man treats you right." Hashtag blessed. Hashtag Dubai. Hashtag love wins. Your man. Chioma's hands shook as she kept scrolling. There were posts dating back months. Tunde at a beach resort in Ghana. Tunde at a luxury restaurant in Lagos. Tunde at a club in Abuja. Always with Folake. Always looking happy, relaxed, and financially comfortable. All while telling Chioma he was broke. The temporary hope died. There was no misunderstanding. There was only betrayal, calculated and sustained. The worst part wasn't the betrayal itself. It was realizing how many people had known and said nothing. Chioma called Amara, who answered immediately. "Babe, I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to tell you." "How long have you known?" Chioma asked quietly. Silence. "Amara, how long?" 6 months, Amara admitted, her voice breaking. "Maybe longer. We all saw them together at parties, we saw his posts, but every time we tried to tell you, you got angry and defended him, so we stopped trying." Chioma hung up. She called Bisi next. Same story. She'd known for months. She tried to hint at it, but Chioma had shut her down. She called Ngozi, her salon assistant. Ngozi hesitated, then confessed. "Ma, I saw them together at the Palms, shopping for couple outfits. I wanted to tell you, but I thought maybe you knew, maybe it was an open arrangement or something." One by one, Chioma realized that everyone in her circle had known Tunde was cheating and using her financially, and nobody had told her directly, because she'd made it clear she didn't want to hear it. Even worse, some of her so-called friends had stayed silent because they didn't want to lose out on the asoebi money and party invitations they assumed would come from her wedding. The isolation was complete. The humiliation, total. At 2:47 a.m., after hours of crying and scrolling through evidence, Chioma sent Tunde a message. "I saw your Snapchat. We need to talk now." The message was delivered, then read. 3 dots appeared, indicating he was typing. Then they disappeared. Then they appeared again. Finally, his response came. "Babe, it's not what you think. Let me explain when I get back." Chioma stared at the message, feeling something shift inside her. Not heartbreak anymore, something colder, something harder. She typed back, "You have 24 hours to explain. After that, the entire internet is going to know exactly who you are." She hit send. The act ended with Chioma sitting in her salon at 3 a.m., surrounded by receipts, bank transfers, and screenshots, evidence of every naira she'd sent him, every lie he'd told, every promise he'd broken. She wasn't going to be a victim anymore. She was going to be a witness, and she was going to make sure everyone saw the truth. 22 hours after Chioma's ultimatum, Tunde called. "Babe, you're overreacting," he said, his voice smooth, practiced, like he'd rehearsed this. "Folake is my business partner. We're working on a project together. That kiss was just playing around for content. You know how social media is." Chioma didn't respond. She just put him on speaker and started recording. "Business partner," she repeated flatly. "So your business partner kisses you and you hold hands with your business partner and your business partner posts when your man treats you right?" "Babe, she was joking. You're taking it out of context. I can't believe you're letting social media ruin what we have." "What we have?" Chioma's voice was cold. "Tunde, I paid for that trip. I paid for your flight. I paid for your hotel. I gave you 800,000 naira. You told me it was for an investor meeting. And it was. Folake introduced me to the investor. She helped me. Stop lying. The line went silent. I've seen everything, Chioma continued. The posts going back months, the receipts, the locations. I know you've been with her this whole time. While I was paying your rent, while I was sending you transport money, while I was borrowing from my family to fund your business, you were spending my money on her. Chioma, listen. No, you listen. You have until tomorrow morning to send me back every single naira I gave you. Every single one. Or I'm posting everything online. She hung up before he could respond. Chioma spent the entire night doing something she should have done months ago. She added up every single naira she'd given Tunde. She went through her bank statement, her salon records, her WhatsApp chat history, every transfer, every cash handout, every small thing he'd asked for and she'd given without question. The total made her physically ill. 4.7 million naira. 4,700,000 naira. Nearly 5 million naira over 18 months. She stared at the number, feeling like she'd been punched in the stomach. That money could have expanded her salon. That money could have bought new equipment. That money could have paid for the advanced training course in London she'd been dreaming about. That money could have secured her future. Instead, it had paid for Tunde's soft life with another woman. But it wasn't just the money. When she cross-referenced her expenses with Folake's Instagram posts, she saw the pattern. March 2024, Chioma sent Tunde 150,000 naira for business registration. That same week, Folake posted from a luxury resort in Ghana. June 2024, Chioma sent 200,000 naira for investor pitch materials. Folake posted designer shopping bags from Dubai Mall. September 2024, Chioma sent 300,000 naira for emergency rent. Folake posted from a 5-star hotel in Abuja with Tunde. Every time Chioma had sacrificed, Folake had benefited. Her salon supplies, the Brazilian hair, the relaxers, the styling tools she delayed purchasing had funded their lifestyle. The realization was devastating. She hadn't just been funding his life, she'd been funding his relationship with someone else. The next morning, instead of sending money, Tunde sent a long, emotional text. Chioma, I know I hurt you. I know I messed up, but I love you. You're the only woman who has ever truly supported me. Folake means nothing compared to you. She was just a distraction, a mistake. I was confused. I was under pressure. Building a business is hard and I made bad choices, but I want to make this right. Please give me another chance. I'm begging you. I'll pay you back everything. I'll do better. I'll be the man you deserve. Just please don't leave me. I can't lose you. You're my everything. Chioma read the message 3 times, waiting to feel something. Waiting for the old familiar pull, the desire to forgive, to give him another chance, to believe that this time would be different. But all she felt was exhaustion. She screenshotted the message and added it to her folder of evidence. Then she typed a simple response. You had your chance. You have until 5 p.m. today. If I don't see 4.7 million naira in my account, I'm going public. His reply came immediately. 4.7 million naira? Chioma, I don't have that kind of money. Where am I supposed to get that from? She sent him a single screenshot, a photo of him and Folake at the Dubai Infinity Pool, champagne in hand, captioned #softlife. Figure it out, she typed, the same way you figured out how to spend it. At 2 p.m., Chioma received a DM on Instagram from someone she didn't know. The username was @realfolake_. The message read, Hi Chioma, I know you don't know me, but I think we need to talk about Tunde. I just found out he's been lying to both of us. I had no idea he had a serious girlfriend. He told me you were his ex and you were just friends. He said he was single and building a business. I'm so sorry.
I feel sick. Can we talk? Chioma stared at the message, anger rising in her chest. She typed back, "If you didn't know, why were you posting when your man treats you right? Why were you kissing him on camera? Why were you holding his hand in every photo?" The response came quickly. "Because he told me you guys broke up. He said you were trying to get back with him, but he wasn't interested. He showed me messages where you were harassing him. I thought I was protecting him from his crazy ex. I swear I didn't know the truth." Chioma's head spin. Tunde had played them both. He'd painted Chioma as the obsessive ex to Folake and Folake as the business partner to Chioma. "When did you start dating him?" Chioma asked. "About 10 months ago. We met at a club in Lekki." 10 months, which meant for nearly a year, Tunde had been running 2 full relationships, funded entirely by Chioma's money. "Did he ever ask you for money?" Chioma typed. "No, never. He always paid for everything. He said he was doing well with his business." Of course he did, because Chioma was the one bankrolling his generosity. Chioma sent Folake the receipts, all 4.7 million naira worth. Every bank transfer, every desperate text where Tunde claimed he was broke, every timeline showing how Chioma's money funded Folake's lifestyle. Folake's response was immediate. "Oh my God, I'm going to be sick. He used you to treat me. I had no idea. Chioma, I'm so sorry. What are we going to do?" For the first time since the Snapchat incident, Chioma smiled. "We're going to expose him," Chioma typed back. "Together." At exactly 5:01 p.m., 1 minute after Tunde's deadline, Chioma posted. She created a Twitter thread with the caption, "A thread, how I spent 4.7 million naira funding my boyfriend's hustle, only to find out I was bankrolling his vacation with his side chick. Receipts inside." The thread included screenshots of every money transfer with dates and amounts, screenshots of Tunde's "I'm broke" texts paired with his luxury posts from the same day, the Snapchat video of him in Dubai with Folake, a timeline showing how Chioma's money directly correlated with their trips, screenshots of his "I love you" manipulation texts, a final message: "Ladies, stop funding these men's soft lives. If he can't hustle for himself, he's not a hustler, he's a scammer. Learn from my expensive lesson." Within 2 hours, the thread had 15,000 retweets. Within 6 hours, it had 50,000 retweets and was trending as #SoftLifeScammer. Nigerian Twitter erupted. Bloggers picked up the story. Instagram gossip pages reposted it. WhatsApp groups exploded with commentary. The story spread like wildfire across Nigerian social media. Comments poured in. "This is why I don't fund any man's dreams. Dream on credit, sir." 4.7 million naira? That's a whole car. Sis was funding a soft life dealership. Men will beg you for transport money and use it to Uber to another woman's house. The audacity of men is truly unmatched. Tunde's phone number, Instagram handle, and even his business name were exposed and circulated. His big boy image, the carefully curated persona of a successful young entrepreneur, crumbled overnight. Companies he'd claimed to have partnerships with issued statements distancing themselves. Friends unfollowed him. His own family called, demanding to know what was going on. The internet had judged him, and the verdict was guilty. "I'm being cyberbullied by my ex-girlfriend who can't accept that we broke up. The money she gave me were loans that I'm paying back. She's twisting everything to make me look bad. I have receipts too. This is defamation and I'm taking legal action." But the internet wasn't buying it. Comments flooded his post. "You have receipts? Post them then. If they were loans, where are the repayment receipts? So you took a loan and went to Dubai, make it make sense. Legal action? With what money? The one she gave you?" Within an hour, Tunde deleted the post. He tried calling Chioma. She didn't answer. He sent her frantic WhatsApp messages. "You are ruining my life. Take down those posts. This is slander. I'll sue you." She responded once. "Sue me with the money I gave you? Good luck." He tried reaching out to mutual friends, asking them to convince Chioma to take the post down. But those same friends who had stayed silent during his betrayal now distanced themselves publicly, afraid of being associated with him. His landlord called, threatening eviction because neighbors had identified him from the viral thread. His phone rang non-stop. Angry messages from people he'd scammed in other business deals, women coming forward to say he'd used the same playbook on them, journalists asking for interviews. Tunde's entire life unraveled in 72 hours.
Four days after the posts went viral, Chioma sat in her salon, staring at her phone. Messages kept flooding in, thousands of them. Women sharing their own stories of financial exploitation, men calling Tunde a disgrace, supporters praising her courage. But underneath all the noise, a quieter fear was taking root. Would she ever be able to trust anyone again? She'd given everything to someone who saw her as an ATM. She'd ignored every warning sign, dismissed every friend who tried to help, and stayed loyal to someone who was betraying her daily. What did that say about her judgment? Her ability to see people clearly? Amara came by the salon that evening and sat with her. "Are you okay?" Amara asked gently. "I don't know," Chioma admitted. "I feel embarrassed, angry, relieved, stupid, all at the same time." "You're not stupid. I ignored you. I ignored everyone. I chose him over all of you. Because you loved him. That's not stupidity. That's just love. Sometimes love makes us blind." "But I should have seen it," Chioma whispered. "All the signs were there. I just didn't want to see them." Amara took her hand. "You saw what you wanted to see, and that's human. But you also saw the truth eventually, and you did something about it. That takes strength." Chioma nodded, tears finally falling. "I don't know if I can trust anyone again," she admitted. "You will," Amara said firmly. "But first, you have to trust yourself. You have to forgive yourself for missing the signs, and then you rebuild, stronger, smarter, but still open to love. Don't let him take that from you too." 2 days later, Folake posted her own statement on Instagram. But instead of solidarity with Chioma, Folake painted herself as the primary victim. Her post read, "I was manipulated by a man who pretended to love me. I had no idea he was using someone else's money. I am heartbroken and betrayed. I trusted him completely, and he lied to me. I am a victim here too. Please respect my privacy during this difficult time. #heartbroken, #betrayed. The post didn't mention Chioma once. It didn't acknowledge that Chioma's money had funded their relationship. It centered Folake's pain while erasing Chioma's role entirely. Chioma read the post and felt her blood pressure spike. She called Folake immediately. "What is this?" Chioma demanded. "What?" Folake's voice was defensive. "Your post. You're making this about you. You're acting like you didn't benefit from my money, like you went kissing him on camera while I was selling my salon supplies to fund his lifestyle. I didn't know, but now you do. And instead of acknowledging that, you're centering yourself as the victim. We were supposed to expose him together. I'm allowed to be hurt too. He lied to me. He manipulated me. With my money," Chioma shouted. "You lived a soft life on my back. The least you could do is acknowledge that." Folake hung up. Chioma stared at her phone, realizing that not everyone who claims solidarity is actually an ally. Sometimes, People only care about justice when it benefits them. 1 week after the thread went viral, Chioma was closing her salon late at night when she saw a figure standing outside. It was Tunde. He looked terrible, unshaven, clothes wrinkled, eyes hollow. He raised his hands as if in surrender. "Please, just 5 minutes. Let me explain." Chioma's hand moved to her phone, ready to call security. "Explain what, Tunde? How you spent 4.7 million naira of my money on another woman? How you lied to me every single day for 18 months? How you made me look like a fool to everyone I know?" "I know I messed up." "You didn't mess up. You committed fraud. You scammed me. There's a difference." "I loved you," he said, his voice breaking. "I still love you. I got in too deep. I didn't know how to tell you the truth. Please, Chioma, give me a chance to make this right." She looked at him, really looked at him, and saw not the man she'd fallen in love with, but the man he'd always been, a con artist who'd seen her as a resource, not a partner. "You want to make this right?" she asked quietly. He nodded desperately. "Then send me my money, all of it. Until then, stay away from me." She walked past him, got into her car, and drove away without looking back. The act ended with Tunde standing alone in the parking lot, defeated and abandoned, the same way he'd left Chioma feeling for 18 months. 3 weeks after the viral exposure, Chioma received a bank alert. Tunde had sent 800,000 naira. Not the full 4.7 million naira, just the amount she'd given him for the Dubai trip. The transfer was accompanied by a text. "This is all I can get right now. I'm sorry. I'll send the rest when I can." Chioma stared at the alert, feeling nothing. No relief, no satisfaction, just the cold realization that she'd never see the full amount again. She forwarded the receipt to her lawyer with a single instruction: file for the rest legally. She wasn't going to beg. She wasn't going to wait. She was going to move forward with or without full restitution. With the 800,000 naira refund and renewed focus on her business, Chioma threw herself into rebuilding. She used the money to restock her salon with premium hair products, replace her broken salon chair, hire a social media manager to promote her business, offer discounts to bring back clients she'd lost while distracted by Tunde. Her salon, which had been struggling for months, began to thrive again. Clients who had followed the viral thread came specifically to support her. They posted about her services, tagged her salon, and spread the word. Her bookings doubled within a month. She launched a new service, bridal packages with luxury styling, marketed directly to engaged women who wanted to look their best on their wedding day. The packages became so popular, she had to hire 2 additional stylists. By the 3rd month after the breakup, Chioma's salon revenue had tripled what it had been during her relationship with Tunde. She realized something profound. The money she'd been pouring into Tunde's fake lifestyle would have transformed her own business if she'd invested it in herself. She posted an update on Twitter. "Update. The salon is booming. My savings account is growing. My mental health is healing. Turns out, when you stop funding a man's fake lifestyle, you can actually build your own real one. Thank you all for the support." The post got 200,000 likes. 4 months after the breakup, Tunde reached out again. This time through a mutual friend who called Chioma with a message. "He's really struggling," the friend said carefully. "He lost his apartment. He's staying with his cousin. He says he's learned his lesson. He wants another chance. He says he'll do anything to prove he's changed." Chioma listened without interrupting. "He also said he'll sign a contract committing to pay you back in installments. He's willing to put it in writing. He just wants you to give him another chance." "Tell him no," Chioma said simply. "Chioma, he's really broken." "Good," she replied.
Maybe being broken will teach him not to break other people. The friend sighed. He really does love you, you know. No, he doesn't, Chioma said firmly. Love doesn't scam. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't use. What he had for me was convenient, and I'm no longer available for that. She hung up.
Around the same time, Folake discovered that Tunde had been cheating on her too, with yet another woman. She posted a dramatic Instagram story. I defended him, I believed him, and he's been lying to me the whole time. There's another woman, maybe more. I'm done. Ladies, don't be like me. When people show you who they are, believe them. Hashtag never again. Hashtag lesson learnt. The post tagged Chioma. Chioma didn't respond publicly, but privately, she felt a strange sense of vindication. Tunde's pattern had repeated, just as she'd known it would. Folake wasn't special. Neither was she. They were both just marks in his long con. But unlike Folake, Chioma had gotten out and exposed him. Folake had stayed and defended him, only to be betrayed again. The difference, Chioma realized, was self-respect. 6 months after the breakup, a man named Chinedu came into Chioma's salon. He was polite, well-dressed, and genuinely interested in getting his sister's hair done for her wedding. He asked thoughtful questions, paid in full upfront, and tipped generously. Before leaving, he asked Chioma if she'd be interested in having coffee sometime. Chioma hesitated. Every instinct told her to say no. She wasn't ready. She didn't trust her judgment anymore. But something about the way he asked, respectful, patient, no pressure, made her reconsider. Let me think about it, she said. He smiled. Take all the time you need. Here's my card. If you ever want to talk, just call. He left without pushing further. Chioma stared at the business card. Part of her wanted to throw it away. Part of her wanted to protect herself from ever being hurt again. But another part, the part that remembered who she was before Tunde, whispered that not every man was a scammer. Not every relationship was a con. She tucked the card into her purse. 8 months after the breakup, Chioma booked a solo trip to Dubai. She saved for it herself. She planned every detail herself. And she posted about it on Instagram with a caption that made Nigerian Twitter erupt all over again. Remember the man who took his side chick to Dubai on my money? Well, I'm in Dubai now, solo, paid for by my business, funded by my hard work, enjoying my soft life. No scammers allowed. Aeroplane, UAE flag, sparkling stars. Hashtag soft life on my own terms. Hashtag healed and thriving. The post included photos of her at the same infinity pool where Tunde had posed with Folake. But this time, she was alone, confident, glowing. Comments flooded in. This is the ultimate glow-up. You really said, let me show you how it's done. Solo trips funded by your own money hit different. The character development is top tier. Nigerian blogs picked up the story again, framing it as a redemption arc. The woman who had been scammed and humiliated had rebuilt her life, reclaimed her power, and won. But for Chioma, it wasn't about winning. It was about healing. It was about proving to herself that she could stand alone, that she didn't need anyone to validate her, and that her worth wasn't tied to a man who never deserved her. She stood at the edge of that infinity pool, looked out over the Dubai skyline, and felt something she hadn't felt in 2 years. Peace. Back in Lagos, Chioma started something unexpected, a women's financial empowerment group. It started small, just her, Amara, Bisi, and a few other women who had reached out after her viral thread, sharing their own stories of financial abuse. They met every 2 weeks at her salon after hours.
They discussed budgeting, financial boundaries in relationships, recognizing red flags, and supporting each other's businesses. Within 3 months, the group had grown to 50 women. Within 6 months, they'd launched a WhatsApp community with over 500 members. Chioma shared her story again and again, not as a victim, but as a warning and a roadmap. She taught women how to recognize financial manipulation, how to set boundaries, how to walk away, and how to rebuild. One evening, a young woman named Blessing stood up during a meeting and said, "I was about to give my boyfriend 200,000 naira for his business. Then I found this group and heard your story. I asked him for a business plan instead. He couldn't provide one. I kept my money. Thank you for saving me." The room erupted in applause. Chioma realized that her pain had purpose, her story had power, and her healing could help heal others.
1 year after the breakup, Chioma sat in her newly expanded salon, now a 2-floor space with 8 styling stations, a private VIP room, and a retail section selling hair products. She looked around at what she'd built, and for the first time, she felt proud without reservation. Amara came by that evening with champagne. "Happy rebirth day," Amara said, popping the bottle. "Rebirth day?" Chioma laughed. "Yes, 1 year since you freed yourself, 1 year since you chose yourself. That deserves celebration." They toasted. "Do you still think about him?" Amara asked gently. Chioma considered the question. "Sometimes, but not with anger anymore. Not even with sadness, just awareness. He taught me what I won't tolerate, and that's a valuable lesson, even if it was expensive." "Do you regret it?" "The relationship? Yes. The lesson? No." Amara smiled. "You've really healed." "I've forgiven myself," Chioma corrected. "That was the hardest part. Not forgiving him, forgiving me, for ignoring the signs, for choosing him over myself, for losing 4.7 million naira to a man who didn't deserve 4.70 naira. She paused. "But I also forgive myself for being human, for wanting love, for believing the best in someone. Those aren't weaknesses, they're just human." 2 weeks later, Chioma's phone rang. It was Chinedu, the man who had left his business card 8 months ago. She'd never called him, but she hadn't thrown the card away either. "Hi, Chioma," he said warmly. "I know it's been a while. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. No pressure. I saw your salon expansion announcement on Instagram. Congratulations. You've built something really incredible." "Thank you," she said, surprised by how easy it felt to talk to him. "I also wanted to ask, would you still be interested in that coffee? I completely understand if the answer is no, but if you're open to it, I'd love to get to know you better. As friends first, if that feels more comfortable." Chioma looked around her salon, the empire she'd built from her own strength, the life she'd reclaimed through her own courage. She thought about the scared, heartbroken woman she'd been a year ago. And then she thought about the woman she was now, healed, whole, and ready to write her own story. "Yes," she said, smiling. "I'd like that." The story ended with Chioma sitting in a cafe across from Chinedu, laughing genuinely for the first time in years, her phone face down on the table, her attention fully present. She was no longer the woman who funded someone else's dreams. She was the woman who built her own. And this time, if she chose to let someone into her life, it would be on her terms, with boundaries, with clarity, with self-respect. Text overlay appeared on screen. Chioma's salon now generates over 2 million naira monthly. She has expanded to 2 locations and employs 15 staff members. Tunde reportedly works as an Uber driver. He has not repaid the remaining 3.9 million naira. Folake deleted all her social media accounts and moved to Abuja. Chioma is still single, thriving, and no longer afraid of being alone. She says, Being single and broke is better than being in a relationship and funding someone else's soft life. She recently launched a financial literacy program for young women called Fund Yourself First. The final image showed Chioma standing in front of her salon, arms crossed confidently, smiling at the camera with the caption, "Soft Life, Self-Funded Edition."